Hello, students! Welcome to our chapter on adaptations in animals. Our Earth is a truly amazing place, featuring incredibly diverse environments like ice-cold regions, lush green lands, vast deserts, and deep oceans. In all these different places, we find an incredible variety of living organisms. Today, we'll explore how animals have developed unique features and behaviors to survive and thrive in these varied conditions. We'll learn why adaptations are necessary, discover many different types of animal adaptations, and understand the importance of caring for our animal friends. Let's begin our journey into the fascinating world of animal adaptations. To start, let's understand what a habitat is. A habitat is simply the natural environment or place where an animal or plant lives, providing everything it needs like shelter, food, and water. However, sometimes the outside environment can be incredibly harsh, making it extremely difficult for an organism to survive. In such challenging cases, in order to continue living, the organism must adapt or change itself according to its surroundings. This crucial process is known as adaptation. For example, a penguin's body is perfectly well adapted to survive in extremely cold regions, with features like thick blubber. On the other hand, a crocodile is specifically adapted to live in swampy areas, with its strong jaws and amphibious nature. It's fascinating to consider that an adaptation is not an overnight change. It might take hundreds or even thousands of years to fully develop and become a characteristic of a species. Here's a fun fact. Adaptations aren't something that happen quickly. They can take hundreds or even thousands of years for a species to fully develop and integrate into their traits. Now, let's dive into different types of animal habitats and their unique adaptations. First up are terrestrial animals, which are simply animals that live on land. Common examples include elephants, cats, dogs, lions, and camels. Most terrestrial animals typically have legs to move around and lungs to breathe air. However, there are always exceptions, like the snake, which does not have legs, but instead crawls by making loops with its body to move. Land animals also possess a well-developed nervous system and keen sense organs, which are vital for sensing changes in their surroundings. The climatic conditions on land are not uniform. Some places are very hot, like deserts, while others are extremely cold, like the polar regions. Thus, adaptations in terrestrial animals vary greatly depending on the climate of their specific habitat. Animals that live in hot deserts, for instance, have thick skin and very little hair on their bodies, which helps protect them from the intense heat of the sun. A prime example is the camel, which has a distinctive hump on its back that stores fat, allowing it to travel for days without needing to eat. Camels also have a special adaptation under their feet, a thick pad that prevents their feet from sinking into the soft desert sand. In stark contrast, animals that live in very cold regions, such as polar bears, have extremely thick skin covered with dense fur that traps heat and keeps them warm. Other animals like seals and penguins are also incredibly well adapted to survive in freezing cold environments. These animals possess a very thick layer of fat directly under their skin, known as blubber, which acts as a powerful insulator, protecting them from the extreme cold. Did you know a fun fact about camels? They have 3 sets of eyelids and 2 rows of eyelashes to keep out sand. This helps them survive in the harsh desert conditions. Despite popular belief, camels don't store water in their humps. Their humps are actually filled with fat, which can be metabolized to produce both water and energy, allowing them to survive for long periods in the desert. Next, let's explore animals adapted to water. Aquatic animals are those that live entirely in water. Examples include fish, octopuses, and dolphins. Unlike land animals, aquatic animals have specialized body parts to help them move in water, such as fins or other modified limbs that allow them to swim efficiently. When it comes to breathing, many aquatic animals like fish breathe through specialized organs called gills, which extract oxygen directly from the water. However, there are notable exceptions such as whales and dolphins. These are mammals, not fish, and therefore they have lungs to breathe. This means they must periodically surface to take in air. Following aquatic animals, we have amphibians, a fascinating group of animals that possess the unique ability to live both on land and in water. Examples include frogs, toads, and newts. Their limbs are adapted to help them move both on land and to swim in water. Some amphibians, like frogs, even have webbed feet, which further enhances their swimming ability. When they are in the water, these animals breathe with their moist skin, absorbing oxygen directly through it. When they are on land, they transition to using lungs to breathe, showcasing their incredible adaptability to different environments. Here's a cool fact. Did you know that dolphins, being mammals, have to consciously breathe? To do this even while resting, they often sleep with only half of their brain at a time, allowing them to stay alert for danger and remember to come up for air. Moving on to animals that conquer the air and trees. Aerial animals are defined as animals that can fly. The most common examples are birds and many insects. These animals have several key adaptations that allow for flight. Their bodies are typically lightweight, making it easier for them to become airborne. Birds, specifically, have hollow bones, which significantly contribute to their light weight. Their forelimbs are uniquely modified into wings, which are essential for flying. Furthermore, birds have feathers covering their entire bodies, which not only provide insulation and keep them warm during flight, but also contribute to their aerodynamic shape. Birds also possess a special body shape known as a streamlined body. It's narrow in the front and back and broad in the middle. This body type helps them to cut through the air with minimal resistance and fly easily. Lastly, let's talk about arboreal animals. These are terrestrial animals that live mostly on trees. Examples include monkeys, squirrels, koala bears, and certain lizards. Arboreal animals have distinct adaptations that make them excellent climbers and tree dwellers. They typically have sharp claws with a strong grip, allowing them to hold onto branches securely. Their bodies are strong, often with a stout chest, and their bones and limbs are supportive, providing the necessary strength and agility for life in the trees. They also possess strong ribs and hip girdles, which further aid their movement and stability while navigating branches. Here's a quick fact for you. Did you know that a hummingbird's wings can beat incredibly fast? They can flap their wings up to 80 times per second, allowing them to hover and even fly backward. Now, let's explore how animals adapt based on their eating habits. Animals are categorized into different groups based on what they eat. First, we have herbivores. These are animals that eat plants only. Common examples include deer, buffalo, zebras, goats, and cows. Herbivores consume various plant parts, such as leaves, roots, fruits, barks, and grasses. To effectively process this plant material, they have specialized teeth. Very sharp cutting teeth at the front to bite off plant pieces, and strong grinding teeth at the back to break the plant materials into smaller pieces and chew them properly for digestion. Interestingly, every zebra has a unique black and white pattern on its body. No two zebras have the exact same pattern. Next, we have carnivores. These are animals that eat the flesh of other animals. Well-known examples include lions, tigers, leopards, and wolves. Carnivores have developed formidable adaptations for hunting and tearing flesh. They possess sharp teeth and powerful claws, which are essential for grasping and tearing the flesh of their prey. Flesh-eating birds, such as eagles, have their own specific adaptations. They have sharp claws, known as talons, to catch their prey, and special hooked beaks that are perfectly designed to tear off flesh. Here's a fun fact. Just like human fingerprints, every zebra has a unique black and white stripe pattern. You won't find any two zebras with identical patterns on their bodies. Let's continue with other eating habit categories. Omnivores are animals that consume both plants and animals. Examples include bears, raccoons, and birds like crows and woodpeckers. Since their diet is varied, omnivores have a combination of different types of teeth. For instance, humans who are omnivores have sharp canines that help in biting and tearing food like meat, while their premolars and molars are designed for grinding plant material. Beyond these main categories, there are other important feeding types. Some organisms that feed on dead animal and plant material are called scavengers. Many scavengers are actually carnivores, such as vultures and hyenas. The key difference is that while most carnivores actively hunt and kill their prey, scavengers typically consume animals that have died of natural causes or have been killed by another carnivore, playing a crucial role in cleaning up the environment. Then there are parasites. These are animals that derive their nutrition by either living inside. Examples include the louse and the tapeworm. Finally, there are decomposers. These are microorganisms, not animals, but they are vital for ecosystems. They feed on dead and decaying organic matter and play a critical role in converting it back into nutrients, which then replenish the soil, making it fertile for new plant growth. Here's a cool fact about scavengers. Vultures have incredibly strong stomach acids that allow them to safely digest bacteria and toxins from decaying carcasses that would be lethal to most other animals. They are nature's ultimate cleanup crew. Animals are constantly adapting to stay safe in their environment and protect themselves from predators. One common strategy is through speed. Some animals have developed very strong legs, allowing them to move extremely fast to escape from their predators, like the swift deer or a hopping frog. Another form of protection involves size and skin. Animals like elephants have incredibly thick skin, which provides a physical barrier against heat and potential attacks. Additionally, some animals, such as whales, elephants, and hippopotamuses, are simply too massive in size, making it incredibly difficult for most predators to eat them easily. A fascinating adaptation is camouflage. This occurs when an animal's body color or pattern is remarkably similar to its environment, making it very difficult for predators to spot them. Animals like grasshoppers, owls, and frogs blend in exceptionally well with their surroundings. Even more impressively, some animals, like the chameleon, can actively change their body color to perfectly match and blend with their surroundings, thus remaining camouflaged. Lastly, some animals employ mimicry, where they imitate or copy other animals for protection. For example, a moth caterpillar can mimic a snake in its appearance or movement in order to defend itself and deter potential predators. Here's a fun fact about camouflage. The leaf-tailed gecko found in Madagascar is an incredible master of disguise. Its body is so perfectly shaped and colored that it can mimic dead leaves or tree bark, making it almost impossible to spot in its natural habitat. Beyond physical features, animals also develop special habits or behaviors to survive difficult environmental conditions. One such behavior is hibernation, often called winter sleep. Not all animals can survive extreme cold and the scarcity of food during winter. So, animals like bears, frogs, and lizards go into a resting state, sleeping for several months to avoid the harsh winter season. They only wake up from this deep sleep once the winter season is over and conditions improve. Conversely, during the intense heat of summer, some animals engage in estivation or summer sleep. Animals such as crocodiles and lungfish will rest for long hours in cool and shady places to protect themselves from very high temperatures and dry conditions. During this period, they also significantly slow down their activities to conserve energy and manage their body temperature. Finally, we have migration. Some animals, like many birds and fish, find it difficult to survive in the winter season due to severe cold and a shortage of food. To cope with this, they leave their homes and undertake long journeys to travel to warmer places where there is plenty of food available. Once the winter season ends, they travel back to their original homes. This regular, periodic movement of groups of animals from one region to another, according to the season of the year, for feeding or breeding, is known as migration. Here's a fascinating fact. The Arctic tern holds the record for the longest migratory journey of any bird. It flies from its Arctic breeding grounds to the Antarctic and back again each year, covering an incredible 49,000 miles. Millions of years ago, dinosaurs, despite their immense size, lived on Earth, but do not exist anymore. One major reason is thought to be their inability to adapt to the changing climatic conditions of their time. Today, unfortunately, despite all their incredible adaptations, the lives of several animals are in danger. These animals are close to disappearing entirely from the earth and are referred to as endangered animals. Examples include the tiger and the black rhino. Sure, here it is. In contrast, animals that have already disappeared from the earth and no longer exist are considered to be extinct, like the dodo bird and the saber-toothed cat. Sadly, humans are directly or indirectly largely responsible for animals becoming endangered or extinct. We contribute to this problem by cutting down forests in search of places to live and to fulfill various human needs. In doing so, we are destroying the homes and crucial food sources of countless animals. Furthermore, many animals are being illegally hunted for their valuable parts, such as crocodiles and tigers for their skin, and black rhinos specifically for their horns. These activities put them at severe risk of extinction. It is crucial that we understand our responsibility. We can show care and concern for animals in many ways, such as conserving water, protecting their habitats from destruction, supporting efforts to help endangered animals, learning more about different species, and responsibly caring for our pets but providing them with love, food, shelter, and veterinary care. Here's a sobering fact. The Javan tiger, a subspecies of tiger that once roamed the island of Java, was tragically hunted to extinction by the 1980s, serving as a stark reminder of human impact on wildlife. And that brings us to the end of our chapter on adaptations in animals. We've learned that adaptations are fascinating changes animals make to survive in their unique habitats, whether it's through physical features like thick fur or sharp claws, or through behaviors like hibernation and migration. We also discuss the critical issue of endangered and extinct animals, and most importantly, our responsibility as humans to protect these amazing creatures and their diverse habitats. Remember, every small action counts in showing care and concern for the animals that share our planet. Keep exploring and learning.